everyone, it's Lindsay from the blog Books for Christian Girls, and today I am going to be talking about some highly requested books, and that is nonfiction. It is no secret on this channel that I really don't read much nonfiction, therefore I don't really talk about it much. I typically stick to fiction, and to be fair, the large majority of the books behind me are fiction. I think there's a few devotionals, maybe a few preteen nonfiction, but everything else on this shelf is fiction. And so I have a little tiny shelf down below that has a little bit of nonfiction. So I've pulled out some of my favorites from that shelf and ones that have been the most memorable that I'm going to share with y'all today. I think some of these I've mentioned in other videos before, but I think I also have a couple new ones, so hopefully they'll be interesting to y'all. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first book, I literally cannot start off this video any other way. Have you guessed what book it is? Kisses from Katie by Katie Davis. And now her last name is also Majors because she's gotten married since she wrote this book. And I've talked about this in, I think it was my all-time favorite Christian books video. This one was in there. It was the only nonfiction, I believe, in that list. I'll link it up there. But this is the story of Katie Davis, who went to Uganda and just fell in love with the country and its people and ended up living there and just adopting and raising girls. And it's such an, I'm not doing a very good job of explaining what this book is about, but I feel like this is honestly a must read for any Christian girl. Like, I'm not one to throw out the must read kind of slogan. I don't do that ever on this channel, but this one I feel like it is, because it really, she spoke to my heart, and I love her dearly. She's one of my role models. So I think this one is one, out of all of these books, I feel like you need to pick this one up the most. And then the second book, I might as well just mention her second book because I love her second book as well, and that's Daring to Hope by Katie Davis Majors. And this one just released about a year or two ago, and I was so excited when I found out that she was writing another book after Kisses from Katie, because I actually got Kisses from Katie first from the library, and I didn't want to give it back. I did not want to give that book back. It was so good. I loved it. I think I now own 3 copies of Kisses from Katie, and I'm looking to find it in the Korean version because I know it's out there, so that's my next goal, is to get it in Korean. And also with Daring to Hope, it's out there too in Korean, and I want both of those. But okay, Daring to Hope is all, literally just, the title is perfect for it. It is all about daring to hope and having our faith and trust in the Lord. And while I maybe didn't enjoy this one quite as much as Kisses from Katie had the bar set really high, and I loved the message in this one. Still loved the message in Daring to Hope, but it was so good. I still loved it. And just a note, in case you're not a hardback reader, both of these books come in paperback, so that's an option too. So our third book on this list is Spoken For by Robin Jones Gunn and Alyssa Joy Bethke. And y'all, I don't feel like, have I talked about this book before? Maybe in one video, but I don't even know if I have. And it's kind of shocking because I read this book when it came out in 2014, and it was in a time when I needed to read it. And basically it's all about saying yes to the love story of your life. And it's not an actual like romance love story, but it is about your relationship with Christ. And I love the last line, "You are not up for grabs, you are spoken for." And it's basically just noting and knowing your worth in the Lord. And that's a read that, it doesn't matter how old you are, we all need to hear this. And the fourth book is The Insatiable Quest for Beauty by Tiffany Dawn. I mess up this title every time. I am so sorry, Miss Tiffany. But she actually is also a YouTuber. But she has this book and another book, and I have yet to read her other book. But this one, again, I loved it. It's another one similar to Spoken For in the sense of girl power in the Lord kind of thing. Not just girl power, but our power comes from the Lord and what makes us special and unique and different. And just, I love it. Like, honestly, I read a quote from this book in the book emoji tag. So I'm going to link that one up there if you're interested in more about this one. Don't just write it off as another little teen girl book. Don't do that. Don't do that, because I almost did. and that would have been a really big mistake because I so enjoyed this book. So yes, definitely go. I read the quote well here. I've tried multiple times in this video and I can't say it. My tongue isn't working. So, but I did it in that video, so maybe go check that out. And now, this next book is technically for preteens. I don't care about that because I love it. I love it. And that is 100 Extraordinary Stories for Courageous Girls. And it's by Jean Fisher. Her name's not on here, but it's on the spine. And I haven't promoted this book enough, y'all. I love this book. So, let me explain about this book. Technically, it's marketed towards preteens. I think, honestly, it can be used in so many different ways, and you can expand on it. So, it basically is just what the title says, 100 Courageous Stories. And it literally, let's see, let me find, who do I want to talk about? Okay, so in this book, how it works is it is 100 different women of faith who have impacted the faith, whether they are from the Bible or from after the Bible to present day. It was just amazing, y'all. So in this case, we have Amy Carmichael, and it has a year she was born, and then about her story, how God used her, and then it has an illustration of her. And for the ladies in the Bible, it's of course not an actual picture, but just what someone believes. Like, I have Esther here bookmarked. And see, actually, here's Esther. So, I mean, yeah, we don't know if this is what Esther actually looked like, of course. But it's a really good representation of that time period. And let's see, who else do they have? They have Florence Nightingale, Lottie Moon, Rosa Parks, the Proverbs 31 woman, Rahab, Rebecca, Ruth. Like, there's so many. And the thing is, when I was reading it, there were so many women, I'm like, I've heard about her, but I've never really read about her or known the details about what she did. I've just kind of always heard of her as an example. And that could be someone from the Bible or someone after the Bible to present day. And so I actually made a list of different women that I really didn't know much about, and I studied later about them. So again, not in the target market. I'm older than you think if you're new here, but I'm not in the target market of preteens, but I enjoyed this book so very much. And in all honesty, we've actually used this. I'm a Sunday school assistant teacher, and we've used this already a little bit for just diving in. Like, we used it for a really good summary almost about Queen Esther, so that's why it's bookmarked. And we actually are giving some of the girls their own copy, and we have one at the church. Like, I love this book. I will promote this book for so long. This really would be great, would be absolutely great for younger girls, maybe girls who are homeschooled, and then also if you're like me and you want to hear more about encouraging women of faith, this book, it tells you about it, and it was amazing. Okay, and the last book I have is kind of a bonus book, and it's not going to be for everybody, and that is Under the Same Sky by Joseph Kim. I talked about this in one video, I believe, but that was prior to reading it, and now I have read it, and it's a hard read. That's the best way to put it. It is a hard, gritty read. It's not going to be for everyone. There are tough topics discussed in this. I'll link all the reviews to these and this one down below, so you can definitely check it out. It is about North Korea. For those who are maybe new here, I am intermediate in the Korean language, and it's a beautiful language. I'm gonna say again, it's literally not for everyone. There is grit in it, but to be honest, a life in North Korea isn't really the best. So it's going to have its real life hardships and struggles in it that he faced in North Korea. This is his actual story. So it's basically his story of growing up in North Korea, and again, it's gritty, it's hard, and then going to China, and then finally coming to the US and meeting the Lord Jesus. And it really, it's just like, wow. Like, I don't know how to accurately explain my feelings on this book, because I find the Korean history, the Korean Peninsula's history, very interesting, because growing up I really didn't learn much about that, and it's interesting to me also learning the language as I've been doing for the past couple of years, and it's just interesting. So that's why this book's on my list. Yes, there we go. Those are some of my favorite nonfiction, and by some I mean basically all right now. I have some favorite nonfiction books right here, and maybe in like a year or two I'll make another video and I'll have more books to talk about. Maybe. That requires reading more nonfiction, y'all. I don't know if I'll actually be able to do that. I can get into nonfictions if they're really good, and those six I really got into. So I think that's a pretty high compliment from this fiction reader. So that's really it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you've read any of these, please let me know. I feel like I do talk about Kisses from Katie a lot, but there's a really good reason for that. It's amazing. And yeah, I would love though to know if y'all have read any of these. I'll leave reviews to all of these linked in the description box down below, so y'all can check them out and see which ones y'all would be interested in. I think I gave y'all maybe a really good variety. Maybe. I hope. Kind of. So yeah, I guess that's really it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Lindsay, and I'm from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where in 2019 there's a new review every Friday. I have a new video on this channel every other Thursday, and I'm on Instagram somewhat randomly, but I am on there. So bye, y'all.